I don't know. Do you see the motion sensor anywhere?
No, I have one final question. When will I know whether or not I'll get granted parole?
Can you just listen to what the chair is saying? Can you stand up and wave your hands?
Huh. All right.
All right, you can sit down.
Like this instead of.
Can you do this?
Okay. Well, thank you for the effort. We appreciate it. We'll figure out about the lighting in a minute.
Well, we are about to watch a parole hearing that some might argue would be funny if it wasn't so serious as to the crimes that he's committed. He was out on probation when he violated again, and what he's locked up for now. We'll listen to the hearing and unpack it at the end.
Right here.
Mr. Chanchaven, we'll be with you shortly.
Sure.
Thank you. Please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Maria Chanchabak,
Your inmate number?
421564.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Mario Chanchabak, 421564. He is serving a sentence of 8 years, 6 months, executed suspended after 3 years, followed by 3 years probation for a violation of probation. The underlying charge is the risk of injury to a child. He is to appear on the sex offender registry until April 17, 2029. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of March 8, 2024. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows he has completed the short track sex offender program, tier 2, and he works in the kitchen. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the moderate range of risk for recidivism. Utilizing the static 99R, the offender's overall score for sexual offense recidivism falls within the low range. Mr. Chanchabe, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Okay, I think I should be granted parole because since I've been incarcerated, I've been have used my time in a positive way. When I was at Cheshire, I was working at the commissary. I did work there, and I also was attending school. And when my level dropped, they sent me here. And as soon as I got here, I applied for a job, and now I work at the kitchen. And when I took the programs tier 2, I learned many things about myself. And I attended the, I got a diploma for the program I attended, and also I completed the AA program, and I went to the meetings, AA meetings. And
Okay.
if I'm granted parole, my hope is also to attend whatever it is that I'm going to live in the local town, the AA meetings, and share my experiences and what I've learned here with other people outside in the world. Also I've been reading the Bible, in particular the teachings of the Lord Jesus Christ, and in particular about forgiveness. So when I get out, I tend to ask forgiveness to the people that I have offended, or the people I have hurt in the past. And I am bilingual, so I speak English and Spanish, and I hope that that's also helpful for if I am to speak or to share my experiences of what I learned here with other people Spanish speaking. And I know that I'm not the man I used to be. I mean, I accept that I had a problem with alcohol. I do not consider myself an alcoholic, but I am a former alcoholic. And I when I attended the program, I also read a book on we're all doing time, and which the book it's a collection of the stories of inmates and the things that they share their experiences of the things they did that got them in prison. And I think I find that book very useful, and it's got many valuable lessons in regards to human behavior and the consequences for wrongdoing.
Okay. All right, Mr. Shanchavik, we're going to ask you some questions now, and then we'll make a decision about your parole at the end.
Okay.
Ms. Chance?
So, Mr. Chavez, you actually denied committing the offense, but had acknowledged that you took her to the movie.
Yes.
So, what are you saying today?
Well, when I was at the my when I hired my attorney said to he said it's while the case was going on, my attorney said I thought there was only one person, one victim for the charge I was, I mean for this for I was being charged, but then my attorney said that all of a sudden there were some people at the courthouse that a number of women that said that I have behaved improperly towards them. And I used to work for the courthouse, and my attorney said that there were like about 6 or 7 women. And then he also found out he had a detective, and the detective said that there were also other women outside in the world, around 8 or 9 women also saying things about myself. And the attorney said it is best if you
So, Mr. Chankovich, I just want to stop you there because I just want you to tell me whether you committed the offense. Did you take her to your apartment?
I took her to let me see that day. Yes.
So you took her to a movie and then afterwards you took her to your apartment.
Yes.
Okay. And then what happened there?
Well, I turned on the TV and I told her that I had to take a shower because I was working at the time for the I was interpreting for the interpreting agencies. So at that time I had an appointment that I had to go to, and it was summer, so I took a shower. And then after I get out of the shower, I told her that I had to take her home, which I did.
But I'm going to ask you again. Did you commit the offense? Did you instructed her to lay down so that you could give her a massage?
No.
So you're still denying
Yes,
committing the offense for which you're charged. And you are on probation
yes.
for something else. So you're acknowledging that you did not.
Yes.
Okay. So one thing I heard you acknowledge that you've accepted that you have a problem with alcohol and you took tier 2.
Yes.
So how helpful was tier 2 to you?
Excuse me?
How helpful was tier 2 to you?
Oh, it was very, like I said, it was, well, it was helpful that I am learning about my problem with alcohol. And it's, it is, it is like poison to me. Like if I, and not only that, but when when I'm under the influence, especially when I black out, I lose memory of the things that that people say that I behave differently, and so that's the reason that if when I get out, I plan to attend AA meetings so that I stay away from alcohol.
Were you drinking the day you took her to the movie?
No,
And then you participated in the short-term sex offender program. What did you
did.
learn?
I learned basically about how to control desires and make a difference between good desire and bad desires, and sort of like how to recognize what is good desire and if and be able to prevent acting on a bad desire.
Did that remind you of anything?
Yes,
What did it remind you of?
it reminded me of like again drinking alcohol, which is my biggest problem when I was outside. I mean, I lost my several jobs because of that.
Let me ask you this. So what would a bad desire for you be?
Bad desire would be for me to um, to drink alcohol. That's my biggest challenge when I was outside.
But you don't think the offense that you didn't look at that as a bad desire?
Oh yes, I feel that the sexual desires, one has to recognize the and one. I mean, perhaps one cannot avoid thinking about sexual desires, but the thing is not to act on them.
So the MCCA program that you previously completed in the community, why were you in that program?
Because of alcohol.
And you've indicated that your last day to drink was in 2019.
Yes, I think it was. Yes, it must have been 3 or 4 years ago. Before I was incarcerated, I was working at the time. I held the job for I think about 6 months before I got called to show up in court for this charge.
You know, one of the things that's concerning, why do you think the victim said you did those things to her?
Why? Well, when I happen to be a US citizen. So some years ago, when I was working for as an interpreter for some agencies, I had an appointment to see for a client at uh, the Department of Children and Families. And when I walked in there to see the worker, the social worker, the victim was there with her mother, and they approached me. The mother approached me, and she said, "I gotta talk to you." And I said, and I thought that was, and I said, "Are you the person that I'm here to interpret?" And she said, "No, no, no. My daughter speaks English, but the problem is that come to see me at the house." So I said, "Okay, I gotta go now." So I went and interpreted for the client. And I think a week or 2 weeks after that, I went to her house, the mother of the victim, and I said, "What's okay?" I said, "Okay, I'm here." I said, and I told her, "Why don't you why don't you take it to the counselors and people like that in school?" And she says, "Oh, no, because why don't you talk to her? Because I know you've heard many cases. You work for the court, and you can advise her, and if you want, she's here, and why don't you take it to the movies or talk to her?" And I said, "Sure, I am, and I'll talk to her." But so when we left the house, she was telling me that she said that her mother was lying, that she's not that. Well, because the mother was saying that she doesn't come out of the room, and she doesn't want to eat, but when we got out of the house, she said, the mother said, I mean, the victim said that the mother was lying, that she was always, whenever they had a conflict in the house, the mother was always siding with her brother, her little brother, and that whenever she wanted to leave the house, she could do that. And some of the things that her mother was saying about her weren't true.
So let me kind of stop you there for a minute because you're going on. You explained that there was a reason why the mother asked you to come and visit her. What specifically was the reason?
Well, she said, "Listen, you know that I'm married to your nephew. Well, my nephew is older than me, but that's a different story." He says, "Why don't you?" I said, "I have a niece in Peru, and I think that because why don't you go to Peru and we're gonna do like I did with my husband, with your nephew, and if you go to Peru, you can because you are legal, you're a citizen." My niece is ready, and you're gonna marry her, and you're gonna come here and be. I mean, you're gonna have a wife, and so we're gonna be. It's gonna be good for her because if she doesn't have any papers, and I don't have anybody. I said I don't have anybody here. It's just me and Hugo. And I said, listen, I told her that. I said, I'm gonna talk to my family, but I don't think I don't think I could do that because I have a job. So I went talk to my family, and I said, "Listen, I forgot her name." She said, I said, "Hugo's wife told me that she's got this idea that she's got a niece back in Peru, and if I go there and marry her, that to bring her over here." And my family told me, "Are you crazy? You have a good job." And so I went.
Okay, so you told her no, you couldn't marry her niece.
Yes.
And so you think the daughter is making up a story, her daughter, about
Yes,
what
but
you did to her.
Yes, because she said to me, "This is not over yet." Because he said we spend money for we prepared our niece, and we were hoping that you would do this for us because you Well, it's already the plan. It's ruined because of you, and it's not over. One day we'll, you. She sort of like said that wasn't the end of it. That one day she's gonna get back at me because I couldn't. I mean, I didn't marry the niece.
So, here's the concerns that I have with you, Mr. Chancellor. You had 2 prior treatments in the problem sexual behavior treatment program in January of 2020 and May of last year. And the last one, I think, was because you had difficulty understanding. You had some cognitive problem-solving abilities, and so you were not able to participate. I do think it's important for you to participate in that program in the community, and that you need to complete it in order for you to understand that what you did was wrong.
Well, yes, I remember now. That was my. I remember my probation officer when I was going for MCCA. Her office was located on Main Street across from the bus station. So when I was going there, I said to her, I was going to the meetings, but then she didn't tell me to continue the meetings. I'm like, okay, and I was showing there, whenever I had to show it for the meetings, and they were down in the basement. But then she didn't say to me to continue up. I thought that was over because she didn't tell me to continue, to go into those meetings. But I did attend the ones at MGCA. That was at night.
But you do understand the importance of completing that program when you go back in the community.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So if I go back into the community, I'm willing to take any programs
Okay.
in all of the programs that you deem appropriate for me to participate in.
Well, you haven't gotten any disciplinary reports, and you certainly have completed appropriate programs for you. You've acknowledged that alcohol is a problem for you and that you're going to follow through with treatment. So I appreciate you sharing, and thank you for answering my questions. I'm done, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Chance. Councilmember Page.
No questions, Madam Chair.
And I have no questions either. Ms. Chance covered just about everything. All right, so we will deliberate about your case now. Wave your arms around and the light will come back on. No? I don't know. Do you see the motion sensor anywhere?
No, I have one final question. When will I know whether or not I'll get granted?
Can you just listen to what the chair is saying? Can you stand up and wave your hands?
Huh. All right.
All right, you can sit down.
Like this instead of.
Can you do this?
Okay, well, thank you for the effort. We appreciate it. We'll figure out about the lighting in a minute. And at the end of our deliberation, we will give you our response about your parole hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Our decision. All right, Ms. Chance.
So, Mr. Chancellor, he has taken the appropriate program. I'm just not sure what his level of standing there again. But he did acknowledge that he has a problem with alcohol because when he drinks it, he blacks out. He doesn't remember what he does. In terms of the short-term sex offender trap, I'm not sure he's denying committing the offense. And so I'm not sure he thinks that it's helpful for him. He had 2 previous participation in the program in the community. One he didn't finish because his probation came to an end and he just didn't continue. And the other time, they did not feel that, his understanding of the facts were going well for him. I am willing to grant him because I think he needs to participate in that program in the community. And now he would have enough time starting on discretionary parole, and then he has 3 years of probation. Right. So somewhere during all of that, he will be able to complete it and do his polygraph and whatever else they need to do.
Credibility assessment.
Right.
That'll help with the beginning. All right, panel member Page? Agreed. I agree as well. And conditions, obviously no alcohol.
Problem sexual behavior treatment, no contact with minors without peers' permission, and the victim, no contact with the victim, DV.
Okay. And his sister's house was
And
confirmed.
yeah, he's going to his sister, so he has funds.
Excellent. All right, so in the matter of Mario Shanshavik, inmate 421564, there's a motion to grant parole on or after,
Today's the
yes, May 31st, 2024, with the following stipulations. No alcohol, no happy house, he has a sister. Community-based treatment for problem sexual behavior, no contact with minors without the parole officer's permission, and no contact with the victim, DV. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Mr. Shanshavik, we have granted your parole effective today. I don't know when they'll release you, but you'll get all that information and you need to go back to treatment.
Yes, thank you so
Okay.
much.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, sir.
You said that I'll be going to my sister's house,
Your sister said you could live with her?
I heard you mention my sister.
Yes.
Yes, that's your sponsor.
Which sister? I have two.
I'm not gonna mention her name on the record. Whoever you told,
HF. Yeah.
I contacted your sister and got all the information. So you can write me a request, Mr. Shanshavik, and I'll get back to you next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're all set.
I leave now.
Yep, you're all set.
He just went around the bush a few times.
Well, there you go. They granted. And it's like, well, we grant because now we can mandate him to take a program outside of the facility, I guess, instead of inside. None of it ever makes sense. And I don't have really information to share with you on this case, except, what Richard was able to find is that he was sentenced risk of injury to a child. He was given 10 years, but his whole sentence was suspended, given 5 years probation. He violated the probation 2 years in this instant case. He was given another 10-year jail sentence. This is 2019. Suspended after 18 months, probation 4 years. And my understanding is that he was again revoked. It's not clear to me. It was revoked November 8th, 2022 for, I guess, this instant offense. Sentenced 102 months jail, executed, suspended after 3 years with 3 years probation. So, I mean, it just seems to be that whatever, it's, a sex crime here, a sex crime there. From what I was able to gather, it seemed that he was saying his attorney said that he should take the deal because there was, I guess, a room full of women or a whole list of women that he worked with that were accusing him of doing things. I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy. From my understanding, this guy's a repeat record, including risk of injury to a child, which, that was a plea down deal. All this probated sentences, but he's like a predator. Oh no, she said I wanted to take her home. I just took her home. I showered. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. I'm just sitting in prison for no reason because he makes up this long story. You know, it's I think if you take his story and you look it up, it would say gaslighting next to it, and he gets rewarded with parole. But you might argue, well, the parole board has nothing to do because, his maximum sentence was anyways September 7th, 2025. So he had 1 year and 3 months to serve, and they want him to take the program on the outside. But it's probably just the prosecutors and the DAs, the judges that are just agreeing to let this man who seems to be a predator get out over and over and over, and you're going to expect different results, and it's madness. But there you go. This is the system that we live in. This is why we do this. The case I'm about to share with you right now is it's going to get you riled up, but we'll jump in.
Mr. Alvarado, at the time of the offense, was 30 years old. The victim was 7 years old. He said that he denied forcing the victim and said she never told him to stop. Keep in mind, he was 30, she was 7.
A welcomed mic drop by our Connecticut Parole Board member, Miss Chance. Now, we are about to watch the parole hearing of a monster who is in prison for the second time for this type of offense. We're going to hear from the survivor as well. Now, keep in mind, please, that this hearing used an interpreter. What I did is I edited out the interpreter. I sometimes sped up the interpreter. So you're going to see that through the motions of this parole hearing. Keep in mind that the interpreter did speak after each statement was made, but you might not be seeing it. Anyways, with that, let's jump.
Okay. James Alvarado, 413910.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for James Alvarado, 413-910. He is serving a sentence of 10 years, followed by 10 years special parole for sexual assault first, victim less than 13 years old, after 2 or more years older. He is to remain on the sex offender registry for life. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of September 6, 2024. There is victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows he has completed the short track sex offender program. He's currently participating in Voices with a estimated completion date of June 17, 2024, and he works as the janitor. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the low range of risk for recidivism. Utilizing the static 99R, the offender's overall score for sexual offense recidivism falls within the low and moderate range. Mr. Alvarado, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Ha dado el correccional con programas.
I first want to thank you for the opportunity to be here today and express myself. I have been working on this and I have tried to work on following the rules from the prison. Continue.
Sí,
If I get the opportunity, I want to show to everyone that everyone deserves a second chance and another opportunity to keep moving forward in life. Everyone makes mistakes. Continue. I have my children, I have my family, I have people that I need to pour out there and to think about. I want to show not only parole, but I also want to show my family that I can be a different person. I have always worked when I was outside. I have always paid my taxes. I
I always wanted to move forward in life. I went to school. When I was outside in the community, I took different programs, and I did those things when I was outside, the same way that I've been doing it here, that I am in prison and I can do it all over again. I do not have any problems or any issues with anyone here at the facility. I wanted to work, follow all the rules from prison, and I've been helping volunteering with programs. If I get the chance to take a program outside, I will be grateful and I will be willing to take it.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Alvarado. We appreciate your opening statement. We will be asking you some questions. We have input from the Office of Victim Services today, and then we will deliberate about your case.
Hi.
Right. Ms. Chance will begin with questions this morning.
Okay, so Mr. Alvarado, you participated in the short-term sex offender program, and now you are in Voices. Is that in English or Spanish?
Es porque si no lo cojo, no voy a poder aprenderlo.
Okay. It was in English. I understand to a certain percentage, but it's just hard for me to speak English. My children, I've been talking to them, and they have been helping me to improve my English, and that was one of the reasons that I wanted to take it in English, because I want to hear it.
Okay. So what did you learn about yourself?
First, I have recognized my mistake, and I have asked God for forgiveness, my family, my children, and I was able to recognize that there was something wrong that I was not supposed to do.
Okay. So you completed a sexual evaluation last December. Okay. And you indicated that there wasn't any force. Do you remember saying that?
Se completó una evaluación sexual el pasado mes de diciembre, donde usted indicó que no hubo ninguna fuerza en esto que ocurrió. ¿Usted dijo esto?
Correcto.
That's correct.
But the victim was only 7 years old.
Pero la víctima solamente tenía 7 años.
Correcto.
That's correct.
So do you still believe that it wasn't force? You didn't force yourself on the victim?
Entonces, aún así usted piensa que usted no se forzó a la víctima.
No, yo entiendo que como que yo forcé hacia él. No fue una de forzarlo, de cogerla, de maltratarlo, no fue en ese sentido. Pero reconozco el error y conozco el delito, sí.
No, I understand that I did not force her like physically harming her, but I do recognize that what I did and that it was wrong. Basically.
Can you ask him to repeat that? Because if he did not physically force her,
Harm her. Why is he here?
why
Usted piensa, usted puede repetir eso, usted no piensa que la abusó físicamente.
Sí, fue abuso físico, pero no en el sentido de que fue un maltrato que yo le haya cogido, que le haya tirado en una cama o cosas así. No, no fue en ese sentido.
That I physically harmed her, but not in the sense of like throwing her onto a bed or something like that.
Okay. So you said you were playing hide and seek, but the assault took place over a 1-year period. Did you know at the time that that was wrong?
Usted mencionó que estaban jugando escondidas, pero esta situación, esta agresión ocurrió por un periodo de 1 año. ¿Usted sabía que lo que estaba haciendo es incorrecto?
Sí. Sí, acepto que era incorrecto.
I know that it was wrong.
Now you know, but you didn't know when you were physically assaulting her?
Ahora usted sabe, pero no sabía cuando usted estaba en ese momento agrediendo a las mujeres.
Correcto.
That's correct.
So how long have you been in the Voices program?
So it takes six weeks to complete, but between the holidays, there was a shutdown in the facility. So now it's gonna be 3 more weeks. And we still have 4 more weeks to complete. Tiene 4 semanas más para completarlo.
Sí, ayer que fui, la maestra dijo que sí.
Because the teacher said that it's gonna take 4 more weeks.
So he's only been in it 2 weeks.
Entonces lleva solamente 2 semanas.
No, son 2 veces por semana.
It's twice a week,
Sí, lunes y jueves.
Monday and Thursdays.
I got it. Have you learned anything so far that you think might be helpful to you?
Yes, because I pay a lot of attention at the program. They show real life videos. They show different cases for you to learn and gain knowledge.
Okay. At any time during that 1-year period, did you think at any time that the victim was scared?
En ese periodo de 1 año, ¿usted llegó a pensar en algún momento que la víctima estaba asustada?
Podría que ser sí.
Me dijo que sí o que podía que ser sí.
Sí, podría ser sí. Porque había muchos problemas dentro de la familia de ella, no sé, por parte de los padres de ellos, y no sé si de pronto ella también tendría ese, digamos, miedo que había problemas entre sus padres.
Maybe yes. There were lots of issues within her family, and I think she was also scared about the things that were going on in her family.
But I'm not addressing what was going on in her family. I'm addressing what you were doing to her.
No.
Me refiero no a lo que estaba sucediendo en su familia, sino lo que usted estaba haciéndole a ella.
Oh, ok. Sí,
Yes.
So if you thought she was, why didn't you stop?
Si usted pensó que sí, entonces ¿por qué no se detuvo?
Esa fue una etapa muy que hasta ahora mismo yo me cuestiono por eso, pues, como le digo, he pedido perdón, incluso he pedido perdón personalmente a la víctima en el sentido de pedir perdón hacia Dios, reconociendo el error que cometí.
That is something that I still question my own self. I ask for forgiveness from the victim and from God. I recognize that I was wrong.
I don't have any further questions.
Okay.
Madam Chair. Thank you for answering my question.
Thank you, Ms. Jan. Paige?
Thank
Hey.
you.
Madam Chair. So, Ms. Alvarado, I really feel like you're minimizing your role in all of this. I'm not sure why you think that we'd be having an exercise here in exchange about your feelings of what the victim was going through at the time. We're here discussing your sexual abuse on this minor child.
Okay.
So, again, she was asking you what you thought the impact of your actions had on the victim, right? And what was your response?
So it was huge. I think not only the damage was to the victim, but also her family and also to my children, because I was the one who was providing for them.
Right. So you do understand that this victim now will be living with this for the rest of her life. It has a lifelong impact.
Usted
Sí, yo reconozco eso.
Yes, I do recognize that.
Great. And so do you recognize also that engaging in sexual contact with a minor is not normal?
Sí, yo reconozco.
Yes, I recognize that.
Great. So why did you say that you didn't think you needed treatment, but that you would do it if you had to?
Entonces, I have recognized my mistake and I have been thinking about what I did, and that there's no way for me to justify that. But if I get the chance to take any treatment, then I'll take it.
That wasn't my question. My question was, why did you say that you don't need the treatment? If you acknowledge that having inappropriate sexual contact with a minor is not normal.
I do recognize that it's not normal, but if I get the chance to be offered professional help, I will take it.
Right. You are going to be given that opportunity. You are, because you have 10 years of special parole to follow your sentence, and you're a sex offender now for life. So you are going to get the help. My concern is that you didn't think that you needed the help. And I'm saying to you, it's not normal. So it's not about whether or not we want you to take the program. It's about your needing the program. There's a difference, a want and a need. You get that?
¿Entiende esto?
Sí, sí lo entiendo, correcto.
So this is not your first sexual offense. It's my understanding that you received some sort of conviction in New York as well.
Sí, correcto, con una esposa.
That is correct. With my ex-wife.
And why did they charge you with a criminal sexual act?
because I was living with her in an apartment. Her ex was giving her a lot of problems, and I'm trying to prove in court that I did not hurt her. It was just a relationship between husband and wife.
What? What? Okay, I'm all set. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I have no follow-up questions. So, Mr. Alvarado, we are now going to hear from the Office of Victim Services. Ms. Hamlet Williams?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I do have a statement from the victim that I will be reading in English, and then the interpreter will read in Spanish. Dear board members, it was asked of me to give statement on whether the accused should be given the opportunity for an early release for the crime that he committed. For me, this is a sensitive topic, as this is something that happened to me, and it has been hard to recover and to try and move on from this traumatic experience since it did happen when I was young. It has been hard to speak about this trauma with my family since it was an event that happened when I was a young kid, and it is hard for them to hear about my feelings and what the accused did to me. For me, talking about what happened to me, about what I felt as a child, what I thought, and what I still feel has been really hard to this day, because I know they wish that they could have done something to help me, and they couldn't. For my family, this has been a very sensitive topic to talk about, but it has been a learning process for us all, because it has brought us more closer as a family, and it has also made us more aware and more communicative. To this day, I struggle with being able to communicate about this and other things in my life, as this is something I kept quiet for a long time because of the shame and the self-guilt I felt. As a young child, I thought this individual hurt me because of something I did. And now I realize I didn't do anything, and this individual made his choice to do what he did, and it was not my fault. It took me a long time to realize this and accept this because as a young child, I tried to reason it as much as I could, but I couldn't. However, now as an adult, I can have a say about this, and it is my position to say that I do not want this individual to be given the opportunity for an early release. I know that the law gives every individual that has committed a crime a sentence, and I believe in this case, the individual should comply with the sentence given. Thank you.
Thank you
you,
very
Pam.
much. We appreciate that. All
You're
right,
welcome.
Mr.
Yes.
Estimados miembros de la Junta, se me pidió que diera una declaración en cuanto a por la sentencia dada. Gracias.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Alvarado, we'll now deliberate about your case and give you our response in just a few moments, our decision. Ms. Chance?
So, Mr. Alvarado, at the time of the offense, was 30 years old. The victim was 7 years old. He said that he denied forcing the victim and said she never told him to stop. Keep in mind, he was 30, she was 7. He said he did not, digitally penetrated victim, acknowledge, performing other sex acts, but denied oral sex. And today, when he was asked whether he thought he forced the victim, his response was, yes, he physically harmed her, but did not throw her on the bed. He was 30, she was 7. But now he knows. Then, when I asked if he thought the victim was scared, he said maybe yes. but he's still questioning himself. Now, today, he knows it was wrong. And Madam Chair, I could go on. And just listening to the victim on the phone today, saying that, she continues to be traumatized because, she's still blaming herself, forgetting that she was only 7 and he was 30. So, Madam Chair, I am going to deny Ms. Alvarado for the nature and circumstances of a current offense, injury and impact to the victim and victim's family. And I'm going to add inadequate evidence of offender change because he did, complete the short-term sex offender program, and he's participating in the voices. And so those are my reasons.
Okay, Ms. Page? Madam Chair, I have him denied as well, for some, well, primarily because there's inadequate evidence of offender change. And I mean, the minimization is just unreal, in all of his actions. So, that's my reason.
All right, I have nothing to add, except I concur with all that's already been said. And just to review, nature and circumstance of the offense, injury and impact to the victim, and inadequate evidence of offender change.
Yes,
Okay, we also need to set the special parole conditions.
right.
Halfway house, released to ICE detainer for Ecuador, community-based treatment for problem sexual behavior treatment, and no contact with minors without the PO's permission, and no contact with victim KS. Anything else? Did I miss anything? No? Okay. So in the matter of James Alvarado, excuse me, 1 second. Madam Interpreter, yes. Okay, thank you. So in the matter of James Alvarado, inmate 413910, there's a motion to deny parole for the following reasons: nature and circumstance of the current offense, injury and impact to the victim, inadequate evidence of offender change. We'll also set the following special parole conditions: halfway house placement, release to the ICE detainer, treatment of problem sexual behavior, sexual behavior treatment, and no contact with minors without the parole officer's permission, no contact with the victim, KS. Anything else? No? All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. All set.
Sorry. So he's all set?
He's all set. Yeah, you're all set, Mr. Alvarado.
Muchísimas gracias. Thank you.
Go to AP, get your lunch, okay?
Ocho Duran, please, for here.
Got it.
Yeah, so let's unpack this. I mean, I don't know where to start. I guess I could start with saying that I really appreciated Palmieri, Chance, and Page in this interview. We have seen a lot where, at least for myself, I get pretty upset. But in this case, they were as disgusted as I think most of us are by watching these type of cases. And I think it says something to just how poorly he interviewed, how disgusted they were by it, because there were 10 hearings on this day, and maybe 6 of them were comparatively as bad, and only 2 didn't get paroled. So it's still it takes a lot to not get paroled by even this Connecticut parole board. And what's mind-boggling to me, it shouldn't be mind-boggling anymore. I know we're not surprised. I guess what's frustrating to me is that we find out in this hearing that this is his second offense, that he has an offense in New York, And it's not clear when that was. I'll give you a screen share of what Richard found in a second because the information is blurry. And even from when they were asking him, it sounded like he claimed that what he didn't do anything wrong, and because it was just like a husband and wife relationship. But meanwhile, he was charged with sexual assault in New York, and I think it was Miss Page who just said like, "What?" And then she was like, "I'm just done. I'm just done." And it's and then so you find out that he's getting sent to the ICE detainer to get deported. And what makes me wonder is what happened after the New York offense. He gets a felony in New York but doesn't get deported there. Like I just don't understand. But do any of us truly understand? Probably even those that work at ICE don't understand. And she's 7 years old. And even in the little bit that I got from this, and I hope, and let me know in the comments section how you feel about how I handled the interpreter. There are times when I fast forwarded. There are times when I just removed it. I know that inconsistency probably caused a problem. It's a lot of work to do it. And there's a lot of cases to cover, and I'm learning. So please forgive me if it's, but I do want your feedback so I can improve next time. But it's what you'd expect from someone who does these type of things. Oh, her family was really messed up at the time, and and oh, everyone suffered because I was the caregiver. I was the one that made the money, and now they don't have. It's like, oh, God, just come on. And you know what? This is a side subject, and please, I'm asking that this not be interpreted in any and interpreted, pun intended, in any other way. But it's almost an irony. If someone goes to prison and then they're asked from the DOC to take programs to learn things, but I think that you have a really strong argument to be made that probably one of the best things that someone could do who does not know the English language is that in the DOC at the end of your 5-year sentence, 8-year sentence, 10-year sentence, you come out speaking fluent English. I mean, there's probably data that supports that you will be more successful in your life moving forward. And would be the easiest thing to implement in prison. And yet it's not done. Now, whether you want to argue that he understands English perfectly, and it's a tool to say you want an interpreter. I mean, that's something I read a lot of history books, and that's something that people would commonly do. It can buy you an extra few seconds in an interrogation, for example. But we see enough that I believe truly haven't learned any English, and if I, God forbid, was locked up in some prison, wherever it was in the country, it was China, it was Russia, it was there. The one thing at least I could walk out of that prison X number of years later would be, hey, I learned a new language fluently. I got something out of it. And, there are very, very wealthy families when they move to new countries, they put their kids or they put themselves, they pay a lot of money to put themselves in an environment where they can, through a short period amount of time, learn the language. And it's like, it's that aspect of prison is completely ignored. And it's like right in front of our faces as an option. It drives me nuts. It's something that I've been meaning to vent about for a little bit, because you spend all this money on programs and you just, oh, well, maybe they can learn that doing something to a 7-year-old girl is bad. Is it bad? Yes. Wow, you did great. You can get paroled. Oh my gosh. You can't make it up. You just can't make it up, this stuff. It's crazy. Now, let me do the screen share with you because it's, thank you, Richard. And it's a little confusing to me. Like I said, I don't really understand because of the arrest dates and times. But here's an article that was written on March 9, 2016. Man is accused of sexually assaulting a girl. Police said that he was 38 when he was arrested Tuesday on a warrant charging him with 2 counts of first-degree sexual assault, 3 counts of risk of injury to a minor, and 1 count each of first-degree unlawful restraint, an attempt to commit first-degree sexual assault. They said the sexual assault happened 7 years ago. Police said it involved a female victim who was known to Alvarez, who was 7 or 8 years old. And how they caught him all those years later, it's, that part of the story is just missing. And then you have something here, which is March 1st, 2008, where he's arrested. And then he's sentenced in 2016, and he has a failure to appear. And I wonder if that's the New York charge. I don't understand the timing on it. But what can you say? So no matter what, he is getting out in, he's going to serve his full 10 years. He's lifetime registry. He's getting out in 2 years. Whether he gets what ICE does with him, who knows? And I think, it just goes to show he claims he's playing hide and seek. It's just unbelievable. You just hear him saying, it wasn't forced. I didn't hurt her. It was. Anyways, I digress. You might not believe it if you didn't see it. Here it is. And with that, I'll let